think to me, it's really just like that always consistent pursuit of excellence and to be elite at something, and to never quit. Quitting is a word for me, and you said this earlier, Dave, when we were talking about it. This doesn't fit in my vocabulary, unless it's something that is detrimental to myself or my family, and I need to make a shift. But the overall goal doesn't ever change. It's just now my avenue or my methodology might change a little bit. So it's that consistent growth, constant growth for me that I just am always pursuing.
Yeah. Some of my thoughts were, I've learned with quitting and giving up, my mind can be weak, right? I feel like when the devil's attacking me or the world's coming at me, the mind gives up pretty easily, and if I don't have those daily disciplines that we've talked about, whether it's reading my Bible, going to church, leading my family, praying at night over a meal, I just haven't had great results. Those are the times where the mind wants to quit. And so what I've learned over, since Fight Club's been a big part of this, I've actually was thinking about back between I was like 33 and 35 years old. I moved to Carmel, got a new job, was doing different things, and using my calendar and getting into that daily discipline, putting on my calendar. If it's on my calendar, it's a non-negotiable. I've learned this like with my nutrition and diet or with CrossFit. I don't want to think. I just want to show up and do. I'm a doer, I'm a grinder. And so if I have something on a calendar, something on a whiteboard, something, in my nutrition journal, whatever you're doing, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take my mind out of it because my mind's going to want to quit when it gets hard. And I'm just going to execute. I'm going to execute the plan. And that's just changed my life. I mean, it really has taken that quit. It's, when you look at a situation, you have different options. Quitting's not even one of those options, and when it's just not there, you find yourself not quitting or giving up, I guess, is the word we're talking about, on things that are important to me and kind of my identity and who I am, so.
But those daily disciplines that you create, and you talked about like your nutrition journal and the daily habit, right? Always in the Word in the morning when it's on my calendar. And what I found in the same thing, because I operate very similar, is that the days that I don't have that stuff on there, because I have done the habit and built the discipline for so long, those days now are easier to make adjustments. And I don't have to think as much anymore, and I can get back on track. Because we all have those days or those weeks where things just kind of fall apart. Life happens to us, whether that's our discipline in the morning, with our devotional, whether that's getting to the gym 3, 4, 5 days a week, whatever it might be. But those daily disciplines and habits that you talked about, when it doesn't happen to make the calendar or the schedule, or when you don't have a day written for, or in your nutrition journal that you're talking about, like, oh my gosh, it's blank, what do I do? Well, now I can default back to the habits that I formed, right, through all of those disciplines over the course of time. Yep. It takes time to build it. And I think that's something too that guys need to understand is this type of discipline that you're talking about and the type of habit building that we're talking about doesn't happen in a matter of 3, 4, 5 weeks. Right. It happens over the course of 2, 3 to 5 years. I mean, it takes time and a regularly disciplined time and habit to build. It takes time for that to happen. Yeah. And it takes people around you to help empower you and hold you accountable to that.
That's right. Yeah, and I think it is. I mean, I think, men, we don't like to admit it, but we can be emotional, and life can be, habits, it's trends, it's things like that. And so, to your point, we all are going to fall off the horse. We're all going to, whether it's relationally or in the Word or, physically. I haven't worked out since Wednesday. That's a weird thing for me, right? But guess what I'm doing, tomorrow morning? It's not even a decision I have to make. It's just who I am. It's in the gym. It makes it so much easier to get back on the horse because we're all going to fall off. But when I know who I am, whose I am, and what my life is about, I know what I'm doing tomorrow morning. I'm going to be right back on the horse. And for those guys that are just starting on this journey or just trying to implement these things, that'd be my encouragement. Is start it now and get back on the horse when you fall off. We're all going to fall off. You have to have that mentality going in. I'm a sinner. I make mistakes. I'm not going to be perfect. But when I have these things as my foundation, God's there for you.
It's one day. How can I win today?
That's right.
Right? How can I win today? Yeah. And what do I need to make sure to do today? And then tomorrow I can worry about tomorrow.
Yeah.